am back with a little more free game. Now, this is going to be a really, hopefully, short and simple and sweet and to the point, right? Because I know we all have short attention spans and long things to do. So, this is the easiest money saving hack ever. And it starts with these right here. Whenever you go to a place, your grocery store, the gas station, the movies, the restaurant, the where do people go? Whatever the outing is, right? Whatever the store is, whatever the place is, you can normally get a paper receipt. Now, since COVID and all those, the things have happened and all the conveniences that we love have been created for us, a lot of us, use our phone to pay for things, and we'll tap the email the receipt. Now, I don't know why y'all want to fill y'all email up like that, but okay. Only time I would want someone to email me a receipt is if it was like an invoice or something, something for something big, or something that, something huge, maybe like furniture or something, a car, email me some stuff that I need, that I may need documentation for later or something. But you do not need McDonald's to email you your receipt. You don't need Burger King to email you your receipt. You don't need Walmart to email you your receipt. You don't need Target to do it. You don't need not Amico. I'm dating myself for real. You don't need Shells to email you your receipt. You don't need BP. You don't need any of those things. Okay? You need this. You need the paper. You need the paper. Yes. Get the paper. Because if you get the receipt, when they say, would you like your receipt? A lot of places don't even ask people. They just take your thing, and they don't even try to hand you a receipt. My personal favorite is when you go into a retail store to go shopping, and they're processing everything, and when it's time for them to hand you, back your card and the receipt, or maybe you already tapped it and they're completing their transaction, and they put it in your bag. Like, bitch, you supposed to ask me if I want it in the bag or not. But anyway, I digress. Make sure when they about to put it in the bag, say, grab that, put it in your wallet, put it in your purse, okay? Keep that receipt, because what happens is those receipts either get lost in translation somewhere. We have them emailed to us. They're stuffed in a bag or whatever. And then we, take our clothes out of it, get home, put our shit away, and then throw the bag and the receipt away. The reason why you want to keep these as this easiest money-saving hack is every single week, and do it by week. If you know that you a big spender and you always spending some money throughout the day, do it every day, right? But keep track. Do this every single week. Every place that you go, get the receipt, keep it with you, and just start stacking them up. Find somewhere in your house, maybe your nightstand, somewhere that you know that you're going to look regularly. So your kitchen table, your dining room table, your counter, where you keep your mail at, or something, somewhere where you can just stack them up, and just keep them in a nice little stack. And when you get to the end of the week and you have gathered these receipts, this is a great visual to show you just how much shit you are spending your money on. Each receipt is a time that you went somewhere and spent some money. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is a bank receipt, but still, I went to the bank to get some cash to buy something that resulted in a receipt. So still, we count that 7. All right, got a couple more here. All right, bam, 8, 9. Okay. And 10. All right. So this is 10 receipts. And I had this, let's say this was, let's see the dates on these. Some of these are older because I've been doing this for a little while and like retraining myself. And keep track of those electronic receipts too. We shop for shit online or whatever, of course. So you're not going to get a paper receipt with that. But make sure that you keep that. I'm so sorry about your dog. My condolences. But make sure that you're keeping these, because what has happened from me tracking and keeping my receipts, I think these last dates are from the 14th, the 16th. What dates I see? I see the 14th, the 16th, 15th. So basically everything from like last week, some from the 12th. These go a little back a little bit. Okay, so these have all been within like the past, say, week to 10 days. All right. When I first started doing this, and this is me as a business teacher and business and finance teacher. I'm not a financial advisor. No, I do have a lot of financial knowledge, and I could tell you lots of things about budgeting and how to get your shit together financially, right? As far as on a personal level, but even myself, okay, this pile was a couple times. You see how thin that is right there? You see how long ago that was? Okay. I've went a few places in the past few days. I made it a point to not spend any money. Okay. Only place I went, matter of fact, I didn't go nowhere yesterday. Only place I bought something from or spent some money at was Walmart, because I ordered some groceries because it was hot as shit and I was not about to go out there into the wild. All right. Order my groceries, and still in the ordering the groceries, I'm making sure that I'm looking at prices. I'm selecting, being very selective and things like that. But doing this has helped me to decrease it, because what this does is it puts the mirror up. It gives you a real visual of how much you spend it in a week. If you get this right here, and next thing you know, this is, let's say, 2-3 times this thick. Let's say instead of 10 receipts, it's 30 receipts, 20 receipts, 25 receipts, 40 receipts. You can sit back and be like, dang, I've been spending a lot. Now you can look at it and actually see in real time what you spent your money on. We are so used to digital everything. This phone that I'm holding in my hand right now, we so used to that. We so used to being able to look at our bank statements online and all those things. Remember back in the day when you got your bank statement in the mail and you had to go through and comb through that shit? Remember back in the day when we didn't have all these bank apps to differentiate and tell you this is what you spent this week, this, and a lot of us don't even use those tools. That's my next point. But this first point right here, game changer. Game changer. Even for the most financially savvy people, save them receipts. Each and every week, go back through them, see what you really be spending your money on, and it will help you to do better. Because each week, your goal is going to be to what? Decrease this pile. Your goal is going to be, how can I go to less places, right? Or sometimes, maybe you need to buy those things, right? But each and every time you go to a different store or whatever, you're getting taxed again. You're getting, so you might want to compress. Maybe I'm getting all my things from this one store instead of having 67 receipts from all these different places, right? Do what works for you. But this, again, is a really good way for you to see it in real time and for you to have a visual of what you're actually doing each and every week. Okay, this kind of gives you a goal to shoot for, right? So each week I can decrease this. All right. Another thing I was going to say, great money saving hack, other than having that physical paper, is like I was saying about the banks and the bank apps. If you bank with whatever bank that you bank with, and they don't have an interactive app that gives you all your deets about what you've been doing with your money, you might want to think about changing your bank. Most of the major banks that I've seen, all of the major banks that I've seen, have a really good resource for this on their apps, where you can, look at. I bank with Chase and Navy Federal, and I know that with Chase especially, you can look and see how much you spent on food, how much you spent on groceries. It differentiates restaurants from groceries, right? You can see how much you spent on gasoline. You can see how much you spent. You can go week by week. You can go day to day. Just same thing with this. Same thing with this. You're accumulating and then you're checking, right? You're accumulating this and then you're checking. If you need to accumulate and check each day, that depends on you and how much you spend. You, right? Some people might need to accumulate this for a week and then check at the end of the week, right? Maybe start on Monday and by Sunday you're checking this, right? For your bank, same thing. Every week, look at what you're doing. The mirror needs to be up. It's kind of like something that I've learned since being on my daughter's so loud. Something that I learned from being on this hopefully last and final weight loss journey that I'm on, right? I'm already seeing the difference and everything, right? If you've been following me, you probably do too. But something that I've learned is that when we don't put the mirror up, when we don't look in the mirror, when you don't get on the scale, when you don't actually look at what you are doing and how it's affecting you, you could keep going down and down and down that rabbit hole until you was 150, now you 200. You was 200, now you 250. And now the doctor telling you 275, 280, 290, 300. And you like, how did I get there? Because you wasn't putting that mirror up. You were seeing what you wanted to see, So when it comes to our money, we get out of shape with our money. We get out of touch with our money. We get in a terrible space with our money when we don't understand what we're doing with it and when we don't look at it on a regular basis. Okay? Don't revisit your bank account every single day. You don't necessarily need to do that, but you definitely need to be regularly looking at your expenses, regularly looking at what you are spending your money on, and comparing that with like what you have to spend versus what you want to spend on. Okay? And figuring out, okay, well, how can I still get these things cheaper, or where can I get these things at somewhere different that's going to be more beneficial, right? Or maybe it's, I have 10 receipts from Family Dollar or Walmart or whatever for this. Maybe I should start shopping at Sam's or Costco or something so I can get this item in bulk, so I can stop shopping constantly, because another thing, each and every time you see one of these, you probably was spending gas, mileage in your car, okay, which that's also leads to more expenses. All right, money saving hack. Keep them receipts, track them, watch them every single week. Make sure you know what you're spending, and also check and track that bank account on the app. If you don't have an app, download it, get it together. If you're old, if you don't know what you're doing, get your grandkids, get your kids, get you somebody to help you get it together. Okay, bye.